Hi, guys. Thanks for joining my YouTube channel. Well, guys, in a recent Love and Marriage Huntsville review on the Carlos King's page, YouTube channel, he revealed that Destiny and her husband paid for a consultation to have their own show prior to her coming on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. Can you imagine or believe that? Destiny's husband wanted to be on television full time. That seems pretty ironic to me, especially indicating how private he says he is. The same thing Martell says. I'm assuming Martell gave them the same information him and Melody, used from his friend to pitch the show to Carlos King. I'm wondering if Destiny and LeBarrett pitched their deal or their show before Martell and Melody pitched their show. Okay, so again, Melody says she was not aware of Destiny and Martell's bestie friendship. You understand she was with Martell all these years. Destiny name was never mentioned. We all know that Destiny said that she was picked at Melody and Martell's magazine reveal when they did a magazine reveal party and Destiny and her husband attended. She said the producers wanted to know who she was and they told her to show up to more events because they was interested in her. I believe Destiny did say she tried to pitch something. I think I remember that. But, she talked about it very briefly. But she did say that it was organic, that the producers pretty much inquired about her, and that Martell put in a good word or whatever, said, yeah, you want to cast her because she's, like a firecracker or something of that nature. From the interview with Carlos King, it seems like, I think I recall him saying that he did not choose Destiny initially because everyone doesn't belong on television. I'll have to rewatch that, but we know that Destiny did say that it wasn't Carlos King, but it was another producer who spotted her at this magazine release party and they wanted to see more of her. They asked who she was. When they realized she was married, they were, more impressed and they put a little bug in her ear that her and her husband should attend more events because they had their eyes on them. So Carlos King pretty much combats, in a way, he combats that story, but who knows? Okay. He also indicates that Stormy was considered for Stormy was also considered and interviewed for Bell Collectives because she is from the state that Bell Collective is currently being filmed in. But when it came all down to it, Stormy lived too far from where the filming took place. They filmed the show in Jackson, I believe, Mississippi. And although Stormy is from Mississippi, she is not from Jackson. And so the place where she did reside was too far, Carlos King indicates, for the filming, and she wasn't close enough to Jackson. So that's why she was not considered. Now, it is being assumed that, you know, Stormy moved to Huntsville, okay, with all intention on getting on to Love and Marriage Huntsville. That's not anything confirmed. There's no paper trail indicating that. But we are to assume, okay, because she really wanted to be a part of Bell Collective. She later learned about Love and Marriage Huntsville, and they were in Huntsville. What brought Stormy to Huntsville from Mississippi is a question. Okay. No one knows that. Perhaps she will share that information. But Melody feels like she was used. She feels like she was sought out. I did a video on that. I indicated that in a video. Okay. These things happen all the time. These things happen. However, she and Stormy were not friends. They were not associates. Okay. One of them, I believe it was Stormy, reached out to Melody in the DMs and befriended her. Perhaps she was looking at Huntsville. She knew Melody was in Huntsville. She knew Melody was a part of this show. Again, in my video, I indicated Melody was vulnerable, perhaps. This is not a fact, but perhaps Melody was vulnerable at the time of her and Martell. Stormy was well aware of the show. She knew what was going on. It was strategic timing, allegedly. I don't know this for a fact. That's my assumption, my perspective. It was strategic. She love bombed Melody, putting it on very heavy. Melody obliged. She thought it was beautiful. Oh, she's such a nice. Okay, sure. And she probably is. And Melody returned the same to her. Melody sent her flowers as well. Melody was very friendly to her, someone she didn't know. And so they became chummy chummy. Stormy moved to Huntsville. I don't know if she contacted Melody before moving to Huntsville while in the process of looking for her dream home, or after when she got settled into Huntsville, because we know she had a relationship as well with Arion. So there's no paper trail on this time frame on, when everything took place. However, we know that the relationship started in the DM. Okay, I'm going to assume that Stormy contacted Melody. Okay, that's what I'm going to assume, because Melody feels like she was sought out now that her discernment, is telling her, when she's putting everything together, when she's realizing how everything took place, what type of situation she was in at the time, perhaps very vulnerable, perhaps too accepting and too, happy to have a friend, a new friend. And she accepted Stormy with open arms. She thought nothing about it. This girl had money. Why would she want to, try to use me or anything of that nature? That was the last thing on Melody's mind. And so she started a friendship, a friendship with a Stormy Still. Again, Stormy was considered for Bell Collective. That did not work out. She didn't think to move to Jackson. I guess she did away with that. And so she decided that she was going to move to Huntsville. Okay, the cost of living is much cheaper. Jackson is cheap as well. Mississippi is cheap as well. But, Huntsville is a number one city. It's an upcoming city. The show was there. It was perfect. The opportunity, it was perfect. Everything was perfect. Okay. And so again, her and Melody, sought out, they impressed each other. They were friendly. They were driving around. They were here, there. Stormy invited her to a couple of her functions, her Target launch. She had this big party. And I did a lot of the videos of, her and Stormy carrying on, dancing. They were here, there in Stormy's cars. just having a good old time. Okay. And then I guess she propositioned Mel, or Mel just thought to put in a good word to Carlos King to say that Stormy would be good for the show. Nobody knows how that conversation went. If Stormy implied about the show, if she asked Mel to see if she could get a spot on the show, we don't know. All we know here recently in the Carlos King interview, Melody feels like she was targeted. She was used for people to get on the show. She feels like people befriended her for a spot on the show. Her perspective. It looks that way. It clearly looks that way. It's hard. It's sad. It's sad. But these things happen. There are plenty of opportunists out in the world. This is very typical. This is very typical. Okay? So moving on. That happens. Stormy has all these people in her ear telling her that Melody's this, Melody's that. She heard Tisha first. Melody's not a good friend. When Melody's done with you, she throws it away. Boom, boom, boom. Now Destiny says it. She's regurgitating the same story. When Melody's done with you, she throws you away. She doesn't care her feeling. She doesn't put emotion or feelings into anything. And Stormy's being bombarded with all of this information. Okay? So now her and Melody probably can't get enough of each other. She's allowing Melody to use her house for her video shoots, her launch parties. She just thinks, we're becoming besties. We're doing so well. Um she's giving Melody tips. Of course, Melody has been in business. Let's reiterate that. Melody was a millionaire before the show. We know that. Let's clear that up. Melody has never done e-commerce, online sales outside of her God Said Go and her t-shirts and things of that nature. She had never sold skincare, body care, or anything else in the e-commerce industry. So Stormy was the girl to give her pointers on this type of selling. She did do the hands-on business, construction, the cleaning, the grass, she knows how to grow a business, okay? Stormy gave her points on the online portion of sales, okay? Melody says she gave her pointers on being on reality TV. Because I kind of lost my train of thought because there's a lot going on. We are discussing Melody going off after hearing the headline for the show, that Melody Shari takes a page out of Stormy Still's marketing book to enhance and grow her business. Melody was highly offended by that caption based on an interview that she did prior to the show coming on. This was last week, I believe. Melody says she doesn't know Stormy's marketing techniques. Stormy hasn't taught her anything. Again, she did say Stormy gave her some tips on online sales, but she gave her tips on being on reality TV. So, they're pretty even. It's not like Stormy gave her a whole course and taught her all this stuff. Melody said, I was already savvy in business. Stormy didn't have to teach me anything like that. She taught, again, she gave me pointers, I guess, on trying to get into markets such as retail markets and doing the online sales like Shopify and all that consists of that of that line of POS sales and online sales. So Melody was frank in what she was saying. She said, let's be clear. You understand? Stormy did not teach me anything. Okay, did she give me some pointers? Yes, she did. Yes. And I gave her some as well. So now what? You know, because again, like I said, Stormy was inundated with this information. Stormy's mother feels like she saw something earlier on in Melody that was not genuine. She saw that perhaps, I don't believe she said this frank, but that Melody was trying to use her daughter in so many words. Okay. And Stormy says, that's not me saying that, Mom. That's you saying it. I don't feel like that. But, I'm really serious when it comes to my friendships. And my friendships are consistent. So we were like this for this frame of time. And then all of a sudden, it stopped. And I wanted to know why. She changed her number. I tried to contact her a couple times. No response. You understand? So I didn't DM her, even though we DM'd back and forth before we became associates or friends. But I felt like we had already passed that. We had already passed that. I had her phone number before she changed it. So if she wanted me to have her phone number again, she would have called me and given it to me. Or Stormy's perspective, she would have called me and said, I'm taking a break. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm not going to be in communication with you for this length of time, but we're still good. That's not Melody's perspective. That was Stormy's perspective. And so she's putting all this stuff together. She has her mother in one ear. She has Letitia, Destiny, and whoever else in the other ear. And so, she's making all of these decisions based on the information that she's surrounded with. So it's really a sad situation, but we understand that these are all coworkers, okay, and they're doing what they have to do to keep this job going, okay, to keep this show again number one. Stormy is doing everything in her power, every chance she gets in the green screen to say, I don't do the phony. These people are phony. They're acting like everybody is so chummy chummy and I can't do this. So I'll be sitting over here. I don't know how Carlos King is allowing that, but I've heard her say this several times. She's even said this on her live, how they could be in an uproar for the audience. Okay? They could be in an uproar. She's seen them in an uproar. And the next minute, when the cameras stopped rolling, they were all back cool. This is as per Stormy Still, the new kid on the block. So who knows? I know that a lot of things are made up. I know a lot of it is storylines that Carlos King adds in. You don't have to believe it, but I know that it is. Let's take, for instance, when Melody used one of her kids' phones or several of their phones to call different people, the number wasn't blocked out. They were not familiar with the number. But how was it that we got their green screen? Were they filming at the same time? Or were they, to me, they were made aware that this call was going to happen. How did we get their responses if Melody's filming? They had to be filming at the same time to capture their response, to capture their their confessionals. This had to be a planned event, a planned taping or storyline. It had to be. We got a confessional from each of them who she called during her shooting, her filming. So somebody had to be there filming them as well to get their confessional. Or am I missing something? Please feel free to comment down below if that's not the way it works. Could they just do they film that on their cell phones, or was that a day of filming and they had producers at their house as well when Melody was going to make this phone call? So they were aware that they were going to get a phone call. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. However, I believe that was staged, added in by Carlos King or one of his producers. When I say Carlos King, I mean one of the producers. Because again, they're in communication to what's going to go and what's not going to go. So I'm sure Carlos King has to approve whatever goes. Again, like I said, the controversy with Melody saying Martell want to get back and he using that as a frontliner for the show. Carlos King put out that statement that Martell wants Melody to pray for their relationship. Again, like I said, he could have been speaking about a co-parenting relationship, and he wanted us to assume that it was, for them to get back into a relationship, like back together. So he's not going to put the whole story, the whole sentence, because he wants us to watch and see. So again, we know a lot of it is a story. A lot of it is a story. And we now know that Melody has decided that she is going to lead without her emotion. Okay? That's the only way that she could deal with Letitia and the capacity that she has agreed to deal with her. Because if she was leading with her emotion, she would be like, I'm not dealing with her at all. She says, I have a dog. So, no, she's put that aside. She's doing what the Scotts has been doing. Okay? They're making it up. They're doing this for a check. They already made it very clear. You get what we give you, whether it's real or fake. This is entertainment. And it's the same with Martell. This is entertainment. You get what I give you. I'm here to give you a good story. Okay? I'm here to give you a good story. We're here to make this show continue to be number one. So whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. And I guess Carlos King is with it. So, because many fans are saying, oh no, this is fake. No, this is not. I thought this was a real reality TV show. It's clear as ever. It's clear as ever. Now, you could stay where you're at if you want to, but is some stuff real? Of course it is. But is there things added? And yes, I believe. Hey, everybody has a right to their own perspective. But it is very obvious. It is very obvious. So thanks again, guys, for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.